Welcome to Real Money Talks. Real strategies from the moneymakers and the world changers that you can use to make millions, keep those millions, multiply your wealth, and build your team. Here's your host, author of 5 New York Times bestsellers, money expert on Dr. Phil, CNN, CNBC, The Street TV, Fox News, and The View, Loral Langemeier.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Market Awareness broadcast live stream with Loral Langemeier and everyone here at Integrated Wealth Systems. Very happy to have you here on this special day. Have a number of special guests talking about current events, what we have going on in the market, as well as the political future, and what that means for your wealth building plan. As always, we have the Q&A box and the chat box available for your input. So as during the conversation today, if you have questions or things you want to bring up, please, by all means, put them into those two channels. The team will be happy to get to them and answer them accordingly. Also, very excited to have our big winner from the last Millionaire Maker Meetup and Marketplace event. Jill Wick is going to be on, talking a little bit about her experience, and Laurel's going to be talking about our upcoming event this week as well, too. So, Laurel, we got a lot to get to today. Let's get to it. How are we doing today, ma'am?
I'm good, and we're going to jam today. Those of you that are out there, let us know where you are calling in from, where you're zooming in from, and confirm, yes, you voted. And if you aren't, I don't know, maybe you should just get off here and go do that. But where are you calling in from today? So like I said, we're going to start with Jill. Jill, welcome to our Market Awareness broadcast today.
Thank you.
So Jill won our marketplace. We have been doing this since April, May, June, July, August, and September. We did it once a month. And then by popular demand and just more, when I'm on a summit, people having to wait for a month seems too long. So we started doing it twice a month, much more intimate. We have an extraordinary offer for those of you that have been before. But Jill won. So Jill, talk a little bit about what you sold and how much money you made.
I'm a Rodan and Fields consultant. I sell the number one skincare brand in North America. Mm-hmm. And I was amazed that I won, shocked. I sold over $800 worth of product over that weekend. Good. And I felt like it was an amazing experience. Your team is phenomenal in giving great suggestions. We did Ask, Tell, Ask, and there's amazing critiques that you get, so you can perfect your Ask, Tell, Ask. So I appreciate everyone's support throughout.
Yeah, and how did it feel to make that much money in a short period of time? Was that new?
Yeah, in a short period of time, that was the first time I'd done that. Awesome.
And the winner, Jill, is going to get to be on my podcast. So we'll be scheduling that. So you have my cell phone. We'll text when Thomas helps organize our podcast, and we'll make sure you get that done. And when we see you out in March, I think you should bring your supplies, do a little bit of a facial, do some cool experiential stuff, and you'll get a whole bunch more sales. I promise you, people who have done it before have made a lot of money. Look at Randy shaking his head, because people will. Like, we had a woman come back in Kansas City off to the side, and she offered massages. And I don't know, Thomas or Randy, do you guys know how much she walked away with? I mean, nobody
was booked like the entire time. I think from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. she was just doing massages.
Yep. And so there's opportunity for all that interaction. You'll be shocked. So you'll have an opportunity to be a big surge. And congratulations. And we'll look forward to doing your podcast with you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And those of you, again, that are interested. So Thomas and Steve have sent out a ton of email. Bree and Lavelle have been calling. Jordan's sending out emails. So number one, if you're an affiliate, bring your friends. Bring the people who need this influence, need this conversation. So you're not the only one selling to your group. So make sure you get an affiliate code. So Thomas, if you want to put how they become affiliate, and you get 50% of a ticket. If you'd like to, a lot of people right now are gifting a ticket, and then you get 5% of any upsell. So affiliates are very significant, as well as summits. Between those two, there are lead sources on helping bring new people to the community, and we're excited to have you. So becoming an affiliate is one way to play. And then the other, if you've already been and you are a graduate, we've started a new process with the twice a month, where we give you 8 hours every other week during these events. So between Friday, 3 to 6, and Saturday, 10 to 3, you get 8 hours of a marketplace. Then we're going to do it again November 19th and 20th. You're going to get it again the 21st, you Marketplace. So once you've graduated, always come back. And Jill, let's see if you can break your record coming back this next weekend. So there is the affiliate link. Those of you who, again, want to help fill our event. And then Thomas, talk a little bit about our bonus we're going to let people have. Not really around the election. Kelly, Randy, and I've talked about just keeping it pretty benign around just money. But, those of you have year end. Year end is probably our most critical time. So talk a little bit about those. We want you to come back to the Marketplace. If you really need the course again, we're going to let you come back. We just want to really fill up these next courses between now and the end of the year, because you've got to get this skill under your belt so you can, go compete with Jill and make a lot of money.
Absolutely. So a couple of links we just put in the chat box there. First, integratedwealthsystems.com/affiliates lets you become a registered affiliate and gives you access to selling Loral's programs and products, which means you can sell tickets to the event, earn 50% minus 3% commissions and more from coaching products. On top of that, in an interest to help everyone reach their financial goals in what has been a crazy year for everyone, no matter how you slice it, we're giving everyone the opportunity to participate in the event. So if you go to shop@integratedwealthsystems.com and use the promo code election 2020, there is a reduction of price that you will be able to attend the event. Now, a couple of things here. One, if you're a big table member, part of the community, you're able to attend our Marketplaces on Friday afternoon and Saturday for free. And if you're a previous event attendee and graduate, you can attend those Marketplaces for just $47. Now, I know, Laurel, one of the biggest things you're hearing throughout this year is that people just need to make a little bit more money to help reach their financial goals. And we're giving back to the community, trying to make that happen for you all. So we would love to have hundreds of people on these Marketplaces each time, make it a sustainable event, make it a sustainable economy, and help everyone with service to one and all. So with that being said, that's how you can get the ticket. Use the promo code election 2020 for special pricing. You can also help pay your way through integratedwealthsystems.com/affiliates. I'm going to put my email in the chat box as well too. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and reach out to me personally and be happy to take those for you. And that's all I have for the event, Laurel.
Absolutely. And again, those of you, we start with Randy and I Thursday at 10 o'clock. We start our next event, and we will be doing 10 to 2, 2 to 4. We'll have us after hours, and then again, 10 to 2. So a lot of just pure content, I would say. And then with Monday, there's a solid 8 hours of content between Randy, Thomas, Adam, myself, and others, or you meet our expert team. And then in addition to the 8 hours of content is a lot of Marketplace. And as Jill said, ask, tell, ask practice, which is sales practice, database practicing, just how do you do this? And believe me, Thomas and I had a Marathon Monday, we'll call it, yesterday, just coaching client after coaching client after coaching client. And we cannot tell you, it's probably why we're letting you come back, is some of you are only getting part of the message. There's so much in our Marketplace content, and some of you are making some pretty big mistakes by not checking back in with us. And we heard a few of those pretty costly mistakes yesterday during our Monday Marathon coaching block. So make sure that you are back. Don't think that you've been here once and you got it. So we're really being open about having you please come back. Please, please, please. I mean, yesterday was pretty eye-opening. Wasn't it for you, Thomas? It was shocking. Some of the just didn't know. Some of the people who I thought were very, very successful in the Marketplace went out to do some of their own things, and we're completely in a different ball game.
They still have some room for growth.
Oh, that's a really nice way to say it. All right, let's switch gears. So, Jill, congratulations. Let's get text, and possibly next week we'll hook up for a podcast.
Yep.
So let's switch gears back to, one of my first ever in March. Randy and I were actually together March 11, 12, 13th. It's shocking when some event happens in your life where the dates like on command. March is when the market dropped. I mean, the lowest drop since 1929. And guess who I brought on? About Randy on, brought Kelly Korshak on. And these two gentlemen have been with us during the duration of just economic updates, market updates, and keeping us apprised of what we're going to do in the future, regardless of how today goes. So Kelly and Randy, welcome back.
Thanks, Laurel. Appreciate it. Be having us. Happy to be here.
All right. So Randy, why don't you lead off a little bit about iFlip? Go ahead and put the links in here. If you do not have the Flip app by now, and for some of you that have larger investment opportunities, you need to get the software. I cannot imagine you're going to roller coaster and bump around in this economy without the flip. So just talk a little bit about what it does, and then I'll let you do a big introduction to the superstar of the day, Kelly.
Perfect. Yeah, Loral, iFlip is a software platform that is AI driven. And in a real short nutshell, we are the first and only pure AI platform that allows the average person to participate in the stock market the way the really wealthy do. And we create an efficiency and an effectiveness that does not exist for the average person. In the traditional advisory space or the traditional financial management space, you get sucked up with fees that are off the charts. You get sucked up with risk that's off the charts, and you are forced into things like mutual funds through old methodologies like diversification as your risk management tool. In a nutshell, we let the average person, we empower the average person to participate in the stock market the way institutions or billionaire Wall Street elite professionals do. And we do that because of the guy right here next to us, Kelly Korshak, and his beautiful brain and his ability to build this type of a platform.
Absolutely. So Kelly, welcome back. So tell us what's going on. Here we are mid-election day. What's going on in the market right now?
Well, from last week's hard sell-off, if people watch the markets as closely as I do, they'll notice the COVID sell-off cost the market 33% off of its highs. It's obviously recovered all of that, and we've actually oscillated since early September off the highs, give or take 10% from the high. Right now, we're clawing back the last yesterday and today. There was a sell-off last week that cost the market, ended October on a sour note, but it didn't put it at the lows that we saw in September. Also, over the last 2 days, we've rallied 1,000 Dow points. As of right this instant, the market looks on track to go higher and, again, challenge the old highs of around 300 on the NASDAQ triple Q and 355 area on the S&P 500 spider. The market, just really in a nutshell, everybody, the markets are probably going to go higher over the next 2.5 months going into the inauguration. I'm politically agnostic. What that means is that I might have my own personal political beliefs on who is the best president, but that's not really what matters. What matters is, how do we make money? That's the reason why everybody tunes into Loral. They're looking for ways to protect their money. They're looking for ways to grow it. I look at the exact same thing. And so what I see is that the market probably will advance over the next 2.5 months. The reasons being is that there is so much money sitting on the sidelines that is waiting to go into the market as a result of the first $4 trillion that were put in earlier in this year from the triple P, idle loans, et cetera, that were gifts from the government. There will be another round of those regardless of the outcome of the election when the politics end and the need of Congress recognizes that there's nothing to be gained by holding back more stimulus. So given the low interest rate plus huge stimulus environment, it's very hard to be bearish the market. So that being said, I mean, there's places and pockets of opportunity. Would you like me to go into a few of those, Loral?
Yep, absolutely. Touch on energy. You know, we are energy efficient for what? Is this the first time? Let's talk a little, just to start there. We've been energy efficient now during this term, first time in the history of the country, right?
Right. We're energy dependent. We're independent of foreign countries giving us oil from, for example, Saudi Arabia or Russia, countries that are huge producers of oil. We no longer need that because of the initiatives taken by the existing administration to support our domestic production of oil and gas. Those things led to a boom, for example, in a lot of the oil and gas companies, everything from Schlumberger and Halliburton to Exxon. When the COVID hit, that obviously devastated the industry. A lot of those companies have no longer paid dividends, or they've cut their dividends in many ways. However, Exxon I look at right now at 33.5. It used to be 72. It's a great buy. And it's paying about a 10.5% interest, and they're not going to cut the dividend. And there's been no indication of that. But let me focus on something else. I feel strongly about, for example, Bitcoin. I feel that's going to challenge the old highs of 20,000 that it touched briefly a number of years back. That I feel very strongly about the recovery stocks like Carnival Cruise Lines, any stock that is directly related to a virus going away through the vaccine. So these are stocks that literally can explode 20 to 50% in a day once the distribution of the vaccine starts to become evident and we see it. I feel that'll take probably right around the end of the year. We'll start to see heavier distributions going through the first quarter. So I feel these are stocks that have huge gamma, which is just another way of saying explosive upside. So these are stocks that you want to own. Look at things like Carnival Cruise and ExxonMobil, things like that. All of that being said, though, my job isn't to prognosticate. Mm-hmm. I have my own opinions. And do you know what they're worth? They're worth this, nothing. Even though I have a lot of experience in this business, I feel very strongly about what I just said. Yep. That is my own opinion. I happen to be long those stocks right now. I own them. But what we have at Flip is something different. Remember, we trade mathematically. Everything comes back to mathematics. Mathematics will manage the upside, and more importantly, they manage downside. So I could be wrong in all of the things I just mentioned. That doesn't mean that you have to sit there and own it and hold it. The algorithms that are inside of our product that are managed by the intelligence that are built to manage those algorithms, AI, handle that for you. So it's not me sitting up here prognosticating. It's actually a computer doing mathematics behind the curtain, just like in The Wizard of Oz. There's something behind the curtain. It's just a computer, actually many computers that live in this cloud, and they're computing, and they're trying to do their best job to assess risk and reward going forward in the stock market. So ultimately, I'm very sanguine on where the market's going. I'm sanguine on real estate, oil and gas in particular, Bitcoin, pretty much all of the things that right now, I mean, just from a mathematical point of view, a personal point of view, and just knowing the amount of cash that is out there, it's actually a really good time to take risk. Even though right now we all want to believe that it's a time to take risk off. But that's too late. That's over.
Yeah.
Because the election is today, and we will at least know by the end of the week what's going to happen. And either way, the large institutions are going to position themselves accordingly. And there is one thing is for sure, interest rates aren't changing. So the way they're going to position themselves, and I've been in hundreds of these kinds of meetings, is they're going to be telling their desks to get long, buy things. So here's what I expect. There's going to be a big move to the upside in the stock market, Bitcoin, even real estate. And actually, there's going to be a tick up in interest rates. Not too much, but interest rates will go up a little bit higher on the short end of the curve over the next, say, 90 days.
And so let's go back to gas and oil, my favorite. And I do have to say this. I told Randy this morning, I swore I wasn't going to pick at it, but I got to pick at it because it goes to our money rules. We teach money rules, and it was interesting talking to a few people, and, we can obviously know what side of the fence they're on. They're like, it's just going to be great when fracking gets eliminated, if Biden gets in. And I'm like, do you understand how much gas and oil you own as a stock? So it was kind of a little wake-up call to how uneducated people still are about what they buy and how they buy and what will happen. So I just had to kind of put a little money rule plug in there is you better know what you're investing in because you're got a dichotomy going on. This morning when we were talking, Kelly, though, you did bring up Tesla and that just being, like you said, absorbed and included in the energy sector. So talk a little bit about how that actually works. Because I think some very uneducated people, that was sort of very uneducated comment. We should have it all go away, but literally this person owns hundreds of thousands of dollars of it because they needed it for taxes. Interesting. I didn't even go into it. It's like interesting posture. I just called Randy and said, oh my gosh, we got to teach more money rules. They don't get it. So when something like a Tesla or green energy comes, we've watched green energy. I've watched it in the building, right? The building sector. it's more expensive. I mean, solar is finally, because of the incentives, finally kicking in a little bit more. But green has always been more expensive. I don't know how many clients we have that have an amazing green product, and they have a hell of a time getting it to market when you get to the cost analysis of it. So talk a little bit about Tesla, how that's just going to absorb into that energy sector.
Right. I mean, I guess there's two aspects to answering and talking to Tesla. The first thing I would point out is that one of the reasons that people could say why the oil and energy gas sector has been so much decay since COVID started. I mean, it's literally been over 50%. Most of the stocks that represent energy sector, if we use that as a proxy for energy, they're down 70% off their highs, 70%. And then, of course, that's why COVID caused that. But as the months of COVID dragged on, and then you see the explosive growth of Tesla, and by the way, many other car manufacturers following suit and introducing their own EV, electronic vehicles themselves, you would think, oh, these old-fashioned technology for oil and gas businesses are dead. They're on their way out. It's over. Wrong. These companies are so big. They have cash flows that are so huge. And it is very common to hear these kind of conversations occur. When they see something is down, they immediately look at the other thing that is causing it. The reason these stocks are down is not because of a push towards new electronic vehicles coming in the future, which there will be. I suspect there will be a tremendous growth in that sector. But that doesn't mean that the oil and gas sector cannot prosper as well and continue to throw off dividends. Remember, the reason we like oil and gas is because of what they can throw off in terms of income. It is very difficult to replace the infrastructure in this country, let alone the world, that is so dependent on fossil fuels. It will take tens and many, many decades to end it completely. And so to call this COVID experience the end of oil and gas is, to me, in my mind, a complete huge opportunity for anybody that hasn't invested in that space already. And it's also an opportunity for anybody that's been in it to buy more. So I've had people call up and say, oh man, I bought my Exxon at 42. It's at 32. Should I get out of it? And my response was to get out of it. You double up, you buy more because it's cheaper. You're seeing prices that are affected by an exogenous, in other words, an out of earth experience that came out of nowhere to affect huge industries in a way that even if electric cars represented half of all the cars that exist in the world today, these stocks should still be 50% higher than they are now. So anybody that's in the oil and gas sector, stay there. Anybody that isn't, get there. And anybody who believes that this industry is going away because of the companies like Tesla is misinformed and naive.
Yeah. So let's switch gears. You had mentioned Carnival. We didn't talk about that this morning, but I was in the South, right? As you know, my son plays down there. And it's interesting why Disney is campaigning to open back up, right? Frustrated as hell at Gavin Newsom. So talk about, Carnival Cruise Line, what I call more of that, the tourist sector. Disney doesn't see any signs of opening really closely. I know they're campaigning.
Disney is open all around the world. For example, it's open in Hong Kong. It's open in China. It's open in other places. It's just not, it's also open in Florida too. A lot of it.
Yeah. It's
just not open in California. I wonder why.
I know.
It's because the certain states are so ridiculously onerous about what they feel, how in their terms of their method to contain the coronavirus. So I lump Disney, I lump Carnival Cruise Lines, Norwegian Cruise Lines, pick a cruise line, anything to do with entertainment,
yep,
anything to do with a restaurant, industries that have been devastated in many ways because of politics.
Yeah.
Now, regardless of, again, the outcome of the election, the one thing is for sure, there is a vaccine coming. And Trump, in this case, is very much correct in saying we are rounding the bend. I feel the exact same thing. We understand now that the virus only has been lethal to less than 0.5% of the population. And of that 0.5%, almost the lion's share, the vast majority, are people that are above the age of 70. As soon as the vaccine starts to get distribution, the stocks that I just mentioned, anything like whether it is an ExxonMobil or a Carnival Cruise Lines or a chef, any company that supplies a restaurant, these are stocks that will jump 50% again in a day. That will happen in a day. And these are stocks that are literally 70 and 80% off of their highs. And they're denying that a vaccine exists or will be built. Or, by the way, I don't know if a lot of people know this. Do you realize that there's 5 companies that are making the virus? They've already made tens of millions of doses of each company's vaccine already made. The difference is they're just waiting to see which ones get approved. If some of them are or all of them are, they will start distributing immediately. And then there will be much less time to be able to involve yourself in these kind of stocks. These stocks are just waiting for a vaccine and a return to normalcy. Anybody that sells these stocks or doesn't own them basically feels we're going to live in a COVID environment for the rest of our lives, which is clearly mistaken. That is fear. It's been the fear mongering that we've seen, sadly, from the media. And when they monger that fear, they depress all stocks. It's like a sea where they're pushing the tide down and all ships sink. On the other hand, when that vaccine comes out, and we know it's coming, the tide will rise, and every stock, every oil and gas recovery stock of things that are entertainment orientated, Disney, Carnival, companies that are in Darden restaurants, these things are going to explode.
Talk a little bit about, one of the things that we do at Flip, but I want Kelly to speak to it because the way he does it, is sometimes when you get in unique times like this, you get the opportunity to construct things designed to do much greater over time. For instance, we have one smartfolio called Red Oil. Very volatile right now. It's all over the place. But talk about that so people can get an idea of what Red Oil is, but more importantly, how using AI to manage that wealth is a significant step forward than anything a human can do.
Right.
And how something like that can put us in a great position in a year or two.
Right. 2 thoughts on that. Remember, again, when you come into this community, people are looking for opportunity. The best time to invest in things, regardless of what it is, oil and gas, real estate, or even equities and off Wall Street assets, the best time to do it is under duress. When it's scary to do it is when people have to do it. These are opportunistic times. These are not times to hide in the basement. So that's number one. With that thought, there are portfolios that we have constructed like Red Oil, which is just a collection of oil stocks that have been beaten down 70 and 80%. These are stocks that run with an algorithm that says if you buy it and you put $100 into it, we feel that you'll make 100 before you would lose 50. Right now, these stocks are sitting, this type of portfolio, which is a collection of oil stocks, are sitting closer to their lows than their highs. It is a huge opportunity to buy these kind of things right now. So place serious money into these kind of products where you have so much upside and very little downside given this environment. And always keep in mind that when things look bleak is the best time to invest, not when they look good. When they look good, you're chasing. When they look bleak is when you should be buying it. That's how Warren Buffett did things. Even though I'm not the greatest believer in his investment style, he liked to buy things when there was blood in the streets. And there's blood in the streets right now on many different asset classes.
So I want to bring you back to digital currency. I was going to say digital currency, Bitcoin all at once. It is moving. It's been moving. Do you think it's going to dip? There's a lot of people who say, I remember at the 4,000 and 6,000 levels, shoulda, coulda, woulda got in. I also have clients, right? We know people who got in about this time. Where are we at today? 13, 14? I think it was like Friday, we were 13 something. So will there be another down, or do you get in at this 13, 14 level knowing it's going to roll? Just pay attention this time. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who just like, they're waiting for an answer. Like, what should I do? Because I missed the lowest.
The way you can't wait for a dip, because then you might miss out on what happens in the future. Here's the way you should approach Bitcoin. Say you have $1,000 to spend in it. Buy 500 here. Buy 500 here. If the market were to go down 20%, buy 250. It goes down another 20%, buy another 250. So do it that way. If the market buy $500 now, if the market goes up another 10%, buy another 250. It goes up another 10%, buy it as it goes up.
Yeah.
You're buying momentum. Buy strength, sell weakness. Don't try to buy weakness. This is another mistake that I feel people make continuously, thinking, oh, I got it at a value. Well, how do you know? What I do know is if I just were to just take and actually I'm looking at when I glaze off over here, I see a Bitcoin chart, for example, in front of me. And all indications based on what I'm seeing is this is going to 20,000 on Bitcoin. And right now we're sitting at 13,000. So that means that from here, it could go up 50% more. And I've also noticed is the way it's doing it. It's going up through backing and filling. In other words, there's buyers below the market. That's why you buy something here, buy half here, goes down 20%, buy half again, down 20%, keep buying in halves. And just keep doing it that way. That's how you manage a position, is you continue to buy halves with half your money. So, which is, by the way, something that Flip does as well. It's called it's a buying strategy. You don't buy things just to buy them. You buy them in a certain way, knowing that you might want to buy more. So I very strongly, right now, I'm a believer in Bitcoin, especially Bitcoin, more than the other ones, but the other ones will rise with them. And the reason I'm for it is because, let's face it, there is a new political reality in the world. That's number one. And there is a tremendous amount of cash that has the potential to create deep inflation in the years to come. If you need an inflationary hedge, it doesn't look like gold is that hedge anymore. The cryptocurrencies are. And as a result, that's why these currencies are moving up very strongly. And I'll add one final thing. My old boss, Paul Jones, there's many articles out there, if you Google it, Paul Jones Bitcoin, is buying it in a big way. You know, he didn't become a billionaire for nothing. He sees things. I'm long that product. Long means I own it, by the way, everybody. And I think other people should have some of their assets in this class. My recommendation is not like half or anything, but you should have 5-6% of your assets as part of any money rule in some form of alternative that protects you against the calamity that occurs when governments make mistakes that cost them their currency values or interest rate spikes.
Yep. All right. Anything else, Randy? Anything else, Kelly? What'd you call it, Kelly? An agnostic day in the money department. Money doesn't...
money, right. Just being agnostic is to say, I don't care. I would, regardless of my political opinion, I really just care about how to make money for the people that observe these webinars. That's the goal for anybody. Whether you're a Democrat or a Republican makes never no mind to me. All people need to eat, both Republicans and Democrats. All people like to make money, both Republicans and Democrats. And so playing a side there means nothing to them or to myself. The value is to say there is opportunity out there. By the way, I saw one person ask a question. Another portfolio out there was SPY. Have a good look at that. You might look at it, SPY 1, SPY. That's another one that I think is downtrodden, and it has a lot of potential.
And so, Randy, do you want to post again? Rob wants to know, how do I get the Flip software? So go ahead and put the code in there, and let's get some more people on Flip. It's just a safer way.
Thank you, Laurel.
Thank you. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate all that you do for us at all times. And we will be in touch. Randy, anything else before I see you back again on Thursday, 10 o'clock? We start another marketplace. No matter what you have got to make money, and that will never change. Your ability to create new cash is your ability to, have the extra 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 Kelly talks about for digital currency. And our goal is to get you making money so you can go shopping and learn about assets and really understand what you're doing, not just follow the herd, which too many people do. And Randy is my biggest collaborator on teaching money rules.
Yes, ma'am. Money rules, if you don't have them, you shouldn't be investing, period.
Right. You have to have a plan, folks. You have to understand how to put money to work and bucket that. Some goes to oil and gas, some goes to real estate, some goes to the stock market, some goes to Bitcoin, some. You have to allocate monies. And you got to do it in some kind of an even fashion. And so if you don't have them, Randy's right, you don't invest at all. Don't invest at all if you don't have a rule.
And those of you that are on the big table will continue this conversation at the laser call 4:00 tonight. In fact, why don't you just mark every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific is our laser call where you can ask any question. And it's live like this on a big Zoom, so you get to know other table members from around the world. So we'll see you back 4:00 on a Zoom. Randy, Kelly, thank you. Jill, congratulations. Thomas, thanks as always. And we will be back in touch. Talk soon.
Thanks for listening to the Real Money Talks podcast. Your host has been Loral Langmeyer, author of 5 New York Times bestsellers, money expert on Dr. Phil, CNN, CNBC, The Street TV, Fox News, and The View. Want to learn more about off-Wall Street investing, tax strategies, and multi-million-dollar business strategies? Visit liveoutloud.com/podcast for past episodes, show notes, and resources. For some special wealth-building gifts only for Loral's podcast listeners, visit liveoutloud.com/podcast gifts. Do you have a burning question for Loral? Visit askloral.com to submit your question, and it may just be covered on a podcast episode. So stay tuned and be sure to subscribe to get new episodes every week.